So, good morning everyone. My name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. As usual, we'll be having a look at our Indian Express newspaper. Since we could not come live yesterday, so we will be taking up important article from yesterday's newspaper as well. So, let's start. Okay, before going ahead, there is this comment, इस lecture का PDF कहाँ मिलेगा? कोई Telegram channel? So yes, we have a Telegram channel and link of that Telegram channel has been given in your description. So you can go and click on the description, click on the link which is given in the description, and then you can avail the PDF of these lectures. Okay, PDF is generally updated after like 3 to 4 hours of the lecture or maybe the next day. So you can keep a tab on that. Okay, so let's start. So we'll start with the practice question which was given to you in the last class. We will see that question and try to solve it. Then there are certain articles which are related to Narga wage hikes, which are so these Narga wages are to be hiked, and the thing is this decision has been taken recently, and now you know that model code of conduct it is in place right now. So obviously government has to take a note from the Election Commission of India. So we'll be talking about that. Then Delhi government in turmoil. So recently you must have heard the news of arrest of Mr. Kejriwal, or you can say CM of the Delhi, and he has been arrested by central agency. So we will talk about the what is the fate of the government in Delhi. Okay, then this is Agniban sorted. This is Agniban sorted. Okay, so this is a spacecraft, or you can say rocket launcher. So we will be talking about that, and we'll see it is a private endeavor. Okay, this is India's second private endeavor. So we will be talking about that. I would suggest that you remember this particular name. Okay, after that we will see a news from the around the world, then some practice questions. Okay, so let's start. Before going ahead, you can have a look at the front page of the newspaper. This is yesterday's newspaper and this is today's newspaper. Here most of the things are basically you can say something is related to IPL. So if you are interested, you can go through this particular, you can say, article. Then this article we will take up in our around the world section. Okay, then there is this article related to AI spin to Lok Sabha campaign. So basically recently you must have heard that artificial intelligence has been having some kind of impact on the elections. So we will see, because we have seen that in 2014 elections there was a sway of social media. Okay, so now when we are talking about this particular election of 2024, we are seeing that there are certain elements of artificial intelligence, because recently there was this video of Mr. Karunanidhi. Okay, so he died in 2018, but still there was this video which was generated by artificial intelligence and that was made in public domain. So various videos like that, you know, maybe supporting the candidate or against the candidates can be circulated in the public domain. So that is why it can be detrimental at a point, because obviously these people are like Mr. Karunanidhi, he is no more anymore. So the thing is, now his video, because he had a very good fan base in the southern states of India, and then circulating such videos might be having some kind of sway on the public opinion. Okay, so that is the impact of AI on the elections. So we will be seeing in future that what and how you can go and you can basically regulate the AI. India and other government, or you can say other states, be it national or internationally, they are trying to control or regulate the AI. Okay, so that is one thing. Other than that, no bias, government to Supreme Court as defends exclusion of CGI from the panel to select election commissioners. So election commissioners has been appointed recently. 2 election commissioners has been appointed. Okay, but chief election commissioner, which is Rajiv Kumar, he is there, and 2 more has been appointed. But the thing is, there was this petition which has been put up in the court, saying that this process wherein CGI was excluded from the select committee was against the law. But the thing is, government has said that there was no bias. Okay, despite the absence of the CGI from the select panel, that panel can be impartial, because there is a presence of government as well as the opposition party in that particular panel. So you can say that it can be impartial. Okay, so that is what they are talking about. Okay, so when we are talking about the appointment of election commissioner, recently a law has been passed. You know that earlier there was no law, and therefore the appointments were an executive action wherein president used to appoint the election commissioner on the advice of the government. Okay, But the thing is, afterwards, this particular thing was taken to the court, and court has said that this should not be the case, because executive cannot interfere with the appointment, because it will directly hinders the independence of the election commissioner. Okay, so basically then Supreme Court said that there should be a select panel. Okay, and in that panel there would be three people: Prime Minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. If there is no leader of opposition, then there can be a leader of the largest party in opposition from the Lok Sabha, and Chief Justice of India in that particular panel. This panel will work till the time Parliament comes up with a law for the appointment of election commissioners. Okay, but then after this judgment, Parliament has come up with a law. In that law, they have made their own panel, wherein they have replaced CGI with a union minister. Okay, and this union minister will be nominated by the Prime Minister. Okay, so now the appointments has been done by the new panel, that is consisting of Prime Minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and then that is union minister nominated by Prime Minister. Okay, so this is about the recent development with respect to the appointment of election commissioners. Okay, now Narega wages are set to be hiked. We will be talking about that. Why we have taken this particular article? Because it doesn't matter that Narega's wages are hiked, because obviously with inflation increasing, slowly government will go for such measures. But the thing is, recently this particular decision came when MCC was model code of conduct was in place. Okay, so we will see that. Now this is today's front page. Central agency arrest Kejriwal. So basically this article would not be of much use if you have read about the ED, how Enforcement Directorate works. ED, its composition, its you can say who is the director and under which law, or you can say is it a statutory body or not. All these things you should remember, which we have already discussed in our previous lecture. So I will not go into details of it. Moreover, it is your static part. Okay, so you can do it on your own. Then we will be talking about the fate of the government here. AAP claims he will run the government from the jail. Now the party is saying that they will not be going for another CM. They will be running the government in a way that he will control or direct from the jail itself. Okay, so we will see how that will happen. Okay, now so let's start with the practice question. Bengaluru is situated at the river basin of which of the following river? Okay, so this question was given to you in the previous class. Okay, and now we will be discussing. We have taken this question related to Bangalore because you must have heard that Bangalore is facing a water crisis. Okay, Bangalore is facing a water crisis. As a matter of fact, the areas around Bangalore or the states around Bangalore are facing the similar situations. Okay, so that is why it becomes important for us to see that in which river basin Bangalore is situated. Now here you can see this is your Kaveri river basin, and here somewhere here this is Bangalore. Okay, at the border of it. But the thing is, this river, that is Akravati, and there is another river which we have already discussed. So these rivers which are basically tributaries of larger Kaveri basin, so we can say that it is under the Kaveri basin. Okay, Bangalore has many small and big lakes over there, and these lakes are basically shrinking. So that is why the storage area is shrinking. Other than that, because of the monsoon which did not perform well this year in 2023, so because of which also Bangalore is going for the water crisis. Okay, so option A would be your right answer. Now we can move further. I would suggest that when we are talking about Kaveri River no doubt is important for you, because recently Kaveri River has been in news. First of all, this Bangalore crisis, water crisis. Other than that, also Kaveri River has been a contemporary issue, because you know that Kaveri has an issue with respect to the water sharing of the Kaveri. There are 3 states and union territory state, that is Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. These 3 states along with the Puducherry, that is a union territory. These 4 entities are having a dispute with respect to the water sharing of Kaveri, and that is why this Kaveri has been in news. So I would suggest that you remember this river and most important areas about this basin. And other than that, there are certain projects like Krishna Raja Sagar and then Hemavati Dam. All these things you should remember, along with the important tributaries like Kabini, Bhavani, Noyal, Suvarnavati, and all these tributaries can be important for you. Okay, now this Akravati is also important because it was in news. So moving ahead. So before moving ahead, I would like to tell you that Drishti IAS has come up with a discount offer on your courses here on IAS GS Foundation course. That would be a live online course for prelims and mains integrated preparation. It can be available. It is available in Hindi and English medium. So you can avail 40% discount from 21st of March to 24th of March. So obviously there are 3 days left, so you can go and avail this discount by clicking on the link which is given in the description. Okay. Other than that, we have EMI facility on the discounted prices, so that can also be good for you. And other than that, on our Drishti Learning app, when we are talking about this course is also available on the Drishti Learning app, and when we are talking about the other courses like the all online courses, pen drive courses, test series, books and DLP, on these courses also we are having up to 50% of the discount. Okay, the dates are same, and you can directly go and click on the link which is given in the description and book your seat. Other than that, you can also call on this number, that is 8010440440. Okay, so that is about Holi discount. And now coming to the first article of the day. Hold on. Now, Narega wages set to be hiked. Government gets EC nod after poll conduct code. Okay. Now, poll conduct code, or you can say your model code of conduct. Okay. So, this model code of conduct which has been kicked in when the elections are announced. Okay. Once elections are announced, this model code of conduct will kick in the same day, or whenever you can say the same day or at a particular time of the day when EC announces. Okay. So, that is one thing. Other than that, once this code is announced, or you can say elections date of the elections or the schedule of the elections is announced, this code kicks in, and after that the government cannot go for any kind of big policy decisions or any kind of, you can say, populist measures. Okay. Other than that, government cannot use states machinery. All these things we have already discussed, so I will not go into details of it. Right now, I have taken these 2 points because this is a policy decision which is saying that Narega wages are said to be hiked. Okay. But how can they do it after this model code of conduct was actually put in place? So the thing is, this was done, actually this was decided earlier, but then it was announced recently, and the government has gone to the court for Election Commission of India first, and then they have taken their nod. Okay. So here you can see the Election Commission of India has given the Ministry of Rural Development and the the go ahead to notify revised wages under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act for the next financial year. Okay. So this is the news. Okay. Now, important factor from your news is here is that first you have to go and read about Narega, MG Narega scheme. Okay. When it was launched, what are the specific provisions related to it, like how many days of employment they will given. This employment is for those, what kind of people or which section of people, and what kind of employment they will give. Obviously, you know that for Manrega, you will be given employment in unskilled sector or unskilled work. Okay. So such things you can go and read on your own, because we have discussed Manrega before as well. Okay. Other than that, new thing here is that the center fixes the state-wise wage rate for Manrega workers under the subsection of this particular act, which is not important for us. Wage rates are fixed according to the change in the CPI AL, that is Consumer Price Index, agriculture labor. Okay. So this CPI AL is basically the criteria on which they will go for the you can say deciding the wages. And why CPI? Because you know that CPI gives you an idea about the inflation. Okay. So CPI gives you an idea about the inflation. On the basis of the inflation in the market, they will also go for the hike in the wages. Okay. All states has seen a hike in Manrega wages for the financial year, with overall increase being in the range of 5 to 6%. So this is a fact, or you can say a trend which has been seen. So all states have seen a hike. So they can directly ask you in a statement with respect to Manrega that all states have been seen a hike in the Manrega wages. There are chances, there are some this tips etc which has been discussed on the internet. Whenever there is a word which is very extreme, like all or only, just be cautious about certain things, because such things, such trends are important, and since it is given all, there are tendency of people to mark it wrong, but that is not the case. So please remember this particular fact, okay, because all states are seeing this particular you can say hike. Okay. What is model code of conduct? So there was this question, what is model code of conduct? So model code of conduct basically is a set of rules, or you can say set of conduct, which is decided by the parties all together. They have sat together and they decided and came to a consensus, and then EC has announced this code of conduct. Okay. So it was originated in 1960, first in Kerala. Okay. Then in 1974 midterm elections, the election commission has come up with this, and in 1977 general election, they have actually announced the model code of conduct at a they have announced it, and after in 1980s they have made some changes, and that particular conduct we are using as of now. Okay. So in that particular mode of conduct, there are certain list to you can say there are things which can be done by the political parties, and which there are certain restrictions which cannot be done by the political parties. Along with the political parties, there are certain restrictions which are put on the party which is in the power. Okay, or you can say the party which has the government at that point of time. Okay. So these certain rules, or you can say to do and not to do list is basically your model code of conduct, which is announced after the announcement of the elections. Okay. So I guess this is clear. So now we can move ahead. Next article is related to AAP claims he will run the government from jail. Why? That's easier said than done. Okay. So basically what happens that your enforcement director or enforcement directorate, this is a central agency. Okay. They have summoned the Chief Minister of Delhi various times, but he did not comply to that, and afterwards they had to arrest him. So, okay, so after the arrest, now he is in custody. The thing is, now who will run the government of Delhi? Okay, so the party is saying that they will be running the government with him as the Chief Minister, running the government from the jail. Okay. So earlier, whether it has happened or not, yes, it has happened. Okay, but we will see what is the issue here. Okay, now Lieutenant Governor can push for the president's rule if he doesn't quit political vacuum in the party. Okay, so now political vacuum in the party, because most of the leaders of this particular party, okay, they are in jail right now, be it Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodiya, Satyendra Jain or Sanjay Singh, they are in jail. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing is, when we are talking about the chief minister is a glue of the party which hold the party together when we are talking about the states. Okay, now he is also in the jail, so there is a political vacuum which is, we can say that there is a political vacuum in the party. So obviously that is why party workers are saying that they will be running, or you can say CM will be running the government from inside the jail itself. Now coming to the news, let's see who next, what next. Never have these questions has been relevant for the political party and the government as they are now for the Aam Aadmi Party. Most of the time in India has not seen such things, because this is the first time when you can say chief minister has been arrested. Okay, so as Arvind Kejriwal was arrested on the Thursday evening, the party maintained that he will run the government from the Tihar jail. Okay, so that's easier said than done. The new battle lines, political and the constitutional, are began to be drawn. Obviously, there are certain restraint, or you can say there are certain legal aspects to it. So we will see those legal aspects. For Kejriwal to remain CM, he would need some respite from the court. Okay, this is key because for a string of opposition minister who are arrested, repeated denial of the bail has been gentle nudge to the resign. So basically this is nothing else, but the thing is, now if court can help him, that is one case. Obviously if someone is the custody, court has the power to grant him bail. Okay, so that is one thing. Then for Tamil Nadu minister Santhil Balaji, okay, so he was also arrested. Then he has been in the power at that point of time, and he will continue to be a minister for 230 days. And at that point of time, even court has asked that how he has been the minister when he was in the jail. Here you can see that the Madras High Court in January asked how could he continue to be a minister for 230 days after being arrested. Okay, now Manish Sisodiya and Satyendra Jain are also example of it. But the thing is, now what happens? Okay, whenever now Lieutenant Governor has power in Delhi, you know that, and there is a tussle between the LG and the government of Delhi. Now, LG has a power that whenever he thinks that state's machinery is not working as per the constitutional guidelines, then he can, you know, send a report to the president calling for a president's rule. Okay, so that is given in the constitution. That is a constitutional right of the lieutenant governor. Now, if Mr. Kejriwal does not vacate his seat or does not resign, in that case, lieutenant governor can go for such action. Okay, so let's see. The constitutional challenges are there. For one, chief minister governing from a jail could trigger question of failure of the constitutional machinery in the state. Obviously, if the chief minister is in the jail, we can say that there is a failure of the constitutional machinery. That is one thing which could be used to argue for the president's rule under Article 239AB. That I would like you to remember, that is 239AB. When we are talking about 239AB, that is related to Delhi. You know that Delhi as a union territory has special, you can say, power, because it has a state assembly of its own. Okay, it has a CM of its own. Delhi's unique constitutional scheme allow for LG, the lieutenant governor, to report to the president to suspend the operation of Article 239AA, which governs Delhi if the LG is satisfied that the situation has arisen in which administration of the national capital cannot be carried out accordance with the, you know, article, that is 239AA, or that for a proper administration of the national capital region that is necessary. Okay, now what Article 239 says, that Article 239AA says that there should be a state assembly. Okay, and that there will be a state government, there will be a CM, and CM will be taking care of the administration in the Delhi. Okay, so that is specifically dedicated to Delhi. So that is why it becomes even more important. Now, lieutenant governor has power under Article 239AB. Okay, so that is power of LG. That if the government is not running as per the Article 239AA, okay, or if it is not running as per the constitutional you know, provisions, then he has power to send a report to president, in which he can say that the constitution that government is not working as per the constitutional machinery. Now that is why you can go for the president's rule. Now you must remember the article which are given in the national emergency, and then we have state emergency, or you can say president's rule. These are the same provision over here as well. Okay, so that is the thing which Delhi is facing right now. Okay, so there are high chances that if CM does not resign, there can be president's rule in Delhi. Okay, so that is about this article. And what are the constitutional challenges? I would like you to remember these two articles, that is 239A and 239AB. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now we can move further. Okay, so there was this electoral trust scheme. Okay, you must have heard about the electoral bonds recently. They have been in the news for various reasons. Electoral bond scheme, which was announced in 2017-18, you can say, and this election particular scheme was scrapped by Supreme Court, saying that it is unconstitutional. Okay, after that Supreme Court has said that you have to the SBI, which was the authority to issue electoral bonds, SBI has to furnish data to ECI, and ECI will send this data in the public domain. Now the thing is, there are certain institutions or certain companies which has gone for the other way as well, that is electoral trust scheme. Okay, this scheme was launched during UPA regime in 2013. Okay, so what is this electoral trust scheme? So basically, when we are talking about the electoral bonds, they are purchased by an individual or a company. Okay, when we are talking about the electoral trust, so here they can be in the form of a group or in the form of a group of individuals. Okay, here let's see. Introduced by the UPA government in 2013, the electoral trust scheme allowed companies and individuals to donate to the electoral trust. They will form an electoral trust. Okay, so the individuals and the company can donate to a electoral trust, that would in turn make donations to the party. So what will happen is that there will be a trust. Okay, so there is a trust, various companies or the individuals, they will come and they will donate to this electoral trust, and this electoral trust in turn they will send this money to the political parties. Okay, so there were certain companies which has taken this particular route. Okay, and the details of these particular transactions, or here you can say that the donations to the parties were made public in the form of annual reports submitted to the election commission. This electoral trust will submit an annual report. Okay, so this was a method some companies has adopted. Here Serum Institute of India, Nippon Steel, all these companies has been using this particular bond route. Okay, so they did not take bond route, but they have gone for the trust route. Okay, so this is not per se important for you, or these names of the institutions are not important. The thing is the concept you can remember, or this concept you can use in your mains answer writing as well. There are certain ways they can ask you for the reforms, like they can ask you, since electoral bond scheme has been scrapped, what is the way ahead? There should be another thing now where we can go for the political funding. So that can be a one more which has already been in the place. Okay, since these particular transactions are already been sent to the annual report is already been sent to a election commission of India. So basically these, you can say that these are kind of transparent in nature. Okay, so GS Foundation कौन सी language? GS Foundation is both in Hindi medium as well as English medium. Okay, so you can go with your convenience. Now moving further, nation's second private rocket launch postponed. Okay, because of certain things, because of the last time checklist they are going for the cautious measures, they have said that they will be postponing it. Okay, so that is one thing. Hold on. Okay. The suborbital launch of India's second privately developed rocket. Okay, so this is second. So what was the first one? That is Skyroot. Skyroot Aerospace was a private firm which has sent a suborbital rocket in the, you can say, suborbital. When we say, here you can say that a particular rocket or particular entity which has been sent to space enough, they have touched it and came back. Okay, they have not entered the orbit. Okay, so that is suborbit. For example, you can say that if an aeroplane goes to a height of nearly 10 kilometers. Okay, so when we are talking about these spacecraft, the aeroplanes, etc., these are flying at the height of nearly 10 kilometers. Okay, so when we are talking about these suborbitals, they are nearly around 20 kilometers. Okay, so since these private firms are relatively new, they are for the first time trying all these things. That is why they are taking baby steps, and they have sent their this Skyroot Aerospace has sent their vehicle to suborbital level, that is nearly 20 kilometers. Okay, so that was the first company to do that. Now there is this second endeavor where they are trying to launch a suborbital launch in the you can say India's second private player will be doing that. Okay, so let's see the suborbital technological demonstration, that is suborbital technological demonstration, sorted. Okay, so this sorted is a single rocket that would test the company's Agni-let engine. Okay, so this engine is Agni-let engine. You can remember this because this is a private engine. Okay, in a real flight. So they are trying to test this particular engine in this particular flight. Okay, a suborbital launch takes payload to space or close to it, but cannot push it into the orbit around the Earth. Okay, so as I told you, these are suborbital because they are not going to the orbit, they are just touching to the space and coming back. Okay, the launch vehicle is using a 3D printed engine. This engine is basically a 3D printed. So they can ask you in the exam, simple, which of the following is 3D printed, or you can say when we are talking about the Agni engine, what is the specific thing about it or specific detail about it? That is, it is a 3D printed. What is the difference between 3D printed or the manual engines which we are generating till now? The thing is, when we are talking about the engines, there are various parts. These parts are then assembled. Okay, and then they are formed into a particular entity, that is engine. Okay, now they are parts which are assembled and then they are forming engine. When we are talking about the 3D printers, or you can say 3D printed engine, this Agni-let engine, they are directly printed. So they are basically a single entity, single unit. there are no parts that has not been assembled, that has been created by 3D printers. Okay, so that is about this. So here you can see the most launch vehicles are manufactured in parts and then assembled ahead of the launch. However, 3D printing ensures that the Agnikul's rocket, Agnikul, these are the terms, Agnikul's rocket engine in one piece. Okay, so whenever there is this Agnikul, or you can say recently we have seen that this Agni Ban sorted, so please remember that these are kind of rockets. Okay, and there are certain engine, Agni-let engine. Okay, so these 3-4 terms I would like you to remember, that is Agni-let engine, then Agnikul's rocket engine, and then Agni Ban sorted. Okay, so here you can say that it would use the first private launch platform that the company has set up at the country's only spaceport, that is Sriharikota. Now till now when we are talking about Sriharikota, you know that we have Satish Dhawan Space Center over there. Okay, so that was the government center. Now they have set up their own private launch setup over there. Okay, so that is the first time they will be launching it from that particular platform. Now Agniban sorted will lift off vertically and follow a predetermined trajectory. It is expected to reach the height of 20 kilometers and then splash back down to the earth. To compare, commercial airplanes fly at the height of around 10 kilometers. So these planes are flying at the height of 10 kilometers. This particular rocket we are talking about, which will be going to the 20 kilometers. Now the first flight, the suborbital flight, was taken by the Skyroot in 2022. They are likely to undertake a first orbital flight this year. Okay, in 2022 they have gone for the suborbital flight, and now they will be going for the orbital flight in 2024. Okay, so that is you can say a role of private sector in the space agencies. Okay, or you can say in the space industry. Now moving further, next article is related to your twin stars. Okay, I will not go into details of all these things because these are very technical, and UPSC does not want you to remember too much details of something. They just want you to have a general idea. Okay, so indeed I will go through this particular article, but I would want you to remember 2-3 things, that when we are talking about the binary star, so, or you can say binary star system, so here there will be 2 celestial bodies. Okay, here you can say there is one body, then there is second body. These 1 or 2 bodies, they will be together in a system because they are having gravitational pull. Their system is binded together by a gravitational pull. Okay, so whenever there are 2 stars or 2 space entities which are binded with this gravitational pull, we call such system as the binary star system. Okay, so that is as simple as that, you can remember. Then second thing is the twin star or twin planet. So when we are talking about these twin stars or twin planet, with the name itself you can say that they will be having almost similar composition. I'm saying almost similar composition. They will not be exactly same. They will have some kind of similarities. Okay, that one thing. They will have a similar mass. Okay, their size will be almost same. Okay, so such things are called twin stars. Okay, so now let's talk about this particular article. In this article we are talking about basically, you can say, planetary ingestions. Planetary ingestions. Ingestions means that when there is a system of planet, there is one star, then there is another star, or you can say another planet. In that system there are high chances, if there is some kind of instability, that planet will be consumed by the star. Here let's see, this is the star. Okay, for just example I would saying that, let's say this is sun. Okay, and then let's talk about this planet which is Mercury. Okay, now there are, when there is a instability, or let's say some body with a high speed is passing through this particular planet, and because of which there has been some kind of hindrance in the existing system, then there are chances that this sun, because of the gravitational pull or other factors, consume this planet, that is Mercury. Okay, so let's see what will happen is that sun will starting to consume, because this planet is moving around the sun. Okay, so it will starting from then, and slowly it will deteriorate or destroyed or consumed by the sun, and at one particular point of time that the star or the sun that will readjust itself, and the planet will to all together be consumed. Okay, so that is what they are talking about in this article. They are saying that our solar system, or when we are talking about our earth and the sun system, this system is quite lucky, we can say, because this system has been stable for like 4.5 billion years since the time it has been actually we have known to be originated. Now from that particular point of time, this system has been stable because of the gravitational pull or other factors, and that is why that star, or you can say that sun, has not consumed other planet. Okay, so that is one thing. Let's see, the planetary system that includes earth and its sibling planets orbiting around the sun has been remarkably stable during roughly 4.5 billion years of existence, but not all planetary systems are so lucky. Okay, so they have gone for some kind of study which is saying that as per the new study involving the twin stars, an examination of 91 pair of stars with matching size and chemical composition showed that a surprising number exhibited the sign of having ingested by a planet. Okay, so they have gone for a study, nearly they have taken example of 91 planets, and they have seen that there are high chances for the planetary ingestions. Okay, so after planet has sent hurling out of the stable orbit for any number of reasons. Okay, as I told you, if this planet is coming out of the stable orbit, then there are high chances it will be getting consumed. Okay, what is twin star? As I told you, the study looked into the pair of the star that forms with the same interstellar cloud of the gas and dust. The thing is, what they are trying to say is that the origin of that particular star, or these two particular stars, is same, or because of the same particular interstellar cloud of the gas and dust. Obviously you must have heard about this nebula theory, etc., which says that these are, first there was this dust, and you can say all these things are there in the interstellar cloud of dust, and then because of the revolution or the rotations which planets are going, and because of which these particular dust particle came close and became dense planet. Okay, and then these are having this today's shape when we are talking about the planets. So earlier they were all dust particles, and since they were in the same vicinity, so there are high chances that they will having the same composition. Okay, so such planets are called as co-natal stars. Co-natal stars. Okay, because their origin is from the same point. So co-natal stars give same chemical makeup, roughly equal mass and the age. That is why they are considered as twins. Okay, while the pairs are moving together in the same direction within our Milky Way galaxies, and they are not binary systems of the stars which are bounded by the gravity. So obviously, as I told you, these stars are not bounded by the gravity of each other, but they are bounded by the gravity of the star, or you can say, let's say Mercury and Earth are not bounded by the gravity of each other, but they are bounded by the gravity of the sun. Okay, so that is why you can say that these are not binary stars, but they are twin stars. Okay, now a star's chemical composition changes when it engulfs a planet because it incorporates the elements that was made of the doomed world. Okay, so basically when I told you, let's say this is the star and this is the planet. When this planet is getting consumed by the star, this star has to readjust because its chemical composition is now changing, because obviously whatever this planet is composited of, or the consisting of, that is being consumed by the star. Okay, so obviously its composition will get changed. Now how do twin star planet get eaten, or you can say get ingested? As I told you, there are various reasons, and if that particular planet is getting out of their orbit, that will get consumed because of the gravitational pull most of the time. Instability in the planetary system may be more common than the previously known. Consider that about 8% of the stellar players studied had one star that apparently devoured a planet. Okay, so this is not important for you, just know that there is a phenomena called planetary ingestion. When we are talking about the planetary ingestion, you can say that a star will consume a planet. Okay, now most planetary systems should be stable because, as in our solar system, the planets are under the influence of the mainly of the host star, okay, and not the sibling planets. Okay, that is why these systems are stable. But for other planetary systems with different initial conditions and the configuration, this might break down and leading to a very chaotic dynamics. Okay, so we are lucky that our solar system is quite stable, and that is why we are not feeling such kind of things. But there are other planets, other galaxies, wherein the situations are different, compositions are different. That is why these incidents can happen over there. Okay, so I hope this is clear. There are 2-3 important things which you can remember. That is, one is what is twin star, second what is binary star system, okay, third is planetary ingestions. Okay, so these 3 concepts you can remember now. Now moving further, for your own read, or you can say from your last you can say newspaper, there was this article on the intermittent fasting and their impact. Okay, so I have covered this article in your In Focus series. So that video must have uploaded today morning at 8 a.m. So you can go and watch that video. Otherwise also I will give you a little bit idea of it. When we are talking about the intermittent fasting, there has been a recent study which is saying that it can be harmful for your cardiovascular system. Okay, if you are going through any kind of diabetics or any kind of cardiovascular disease, you should not go for the intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting? So when we are talking about intermittent fasting, what happens that for like 8 to 12 hours window, you do not, or you can say for a window of 12 to 16 hours, you do not eat. Okay, so this is called fasting window. Okay, and for the nearly 8 hours, you will have a window where you will be eating. Okay, so you can say that there is nearly 8 to 10 hours wherein you are eating, and other than that, rest of the day you are not eating, you are just consuming beverages, and in those beverages also you are not taking any sugar or milk. Okay, so that is what called intermittent fasting. Now there are reports, earlier reports says that intermittent fasting is very helpful in losing weight, for the good metabolism, insulin sensitivity, all these things are improved by intermittent fasting. Even there are studies which are saying that even cancer in the can be prohibited because of the intermittent fasting. Okay, so all these things are benefited, no doubt. Now the thing is, there is another study which is saying that because of the intermittent fasting, what happens is that for like nearly 12 to 16 hours you are not having any kind of meal, and because of which your insulin line is, or you can say insulin release is not there anytime, and let's say this is the insulin or release at that particular point of time, which is nearly not happening because you are not eating anything. Now after this 12 hours, what happens is that you have taken your meal. In the next 1 hour, when you have taken your meal, this insulin will shoot up, because for the digestion process and for the metabolism to work, this body will release sugars. Okay, so this sugar will release inside your body, and because of which this insulin dynamics will change. Okay, and because of which you can say that these variations are there, and it is suggested that for a person who is in the who is having diabetics, or a person who is having cardiovascular diseases, we are more advised to have a normal insulin release and not various or you can say variable insulin release. Okay, the thing is, whenever there is a sudden rise or sudden you can say leap in the insulin release, or you can say sugar release, that can cause a problem. Okay, so in this report is saying that in long run you should not go for intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting can be worked for like 1 year or 2 years, but for the long time you should not go for it. For the detail of this article, you can go and watch In Focus series. But when we are talking about this particular intermittent fasting, or this particular report on intermittent fasting, this report is based in USA, first thing. Second thing, this report has not been peer reviewed yet. Okay, the methodology which has been used to come on the conclusions, that is also not clear. So there is you can say confusion that one should go for intermittent fasting or not. So concluding, we can say that there are certain classes of people, or you can say section of people in different ages, they require different kind of energy. So when we are talking about young people or the pregnant women, etc., they require high energy, high calories in the day. So these people should not go for intermittent fasting. So any person, or you can say youngsters which are less than 25 years, they should not go for the intermittent fasting. First thing. Pregnant women should not go for intermittent fasting. Second thing. Third thing is the people with the cardiovascular diseases or the diabetics should not go for intermittent fasting. Okay, and if they are going for it, you should go for it by the advice of your doctor. Okay. So that is about this particular article. You can go and watch in focus, in which it was covered in detail. Okay. Now around the world, recently there was a phone call between India and Russia, or you can say PM of India has talked to President of Russia, and then PM of India has also talked to the President of Ukraine. Okay. Now there is this talk wherein these countries are coming together and trying to come up with a solution. Again, I am saying Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's President Zelensky on Wednesday, conveying that India's consistent position in the favor of dialogue and diplomacy as a way forward. Okay, we are not in favor of war. We are saying that you should resolve the conflict with the dialogue and diplomacy. That it would continue to do everything within its power to basically support the peaceful resolution of the conflict. Okay, so the conversation came at a time when the Delhi gets ready to receive Kiev's foreign minister. Okay, so Ukrainian foreign minister is coming to Delhi, and India's consistent position of resolution of Ukraine's conflict via talk and diplomacy. Now Kiev is keen on India's presence at the summit which is taking place in the Switzerland. This summit is basically they are trying to discuss a potential solution here. It is learned that officials in Switzerland, India and Ukraine are working towards India's participation at the summit this summer. China has also indicated that it is likely to attend the summit. India has sought to maintain a diplomatic balance between Russia and Ukraine, because obviously Ukraine is supported by the West and we are close with the West right now. When we are talking about USA and UK, we are quite close with them, and Russia has been our all-weather partner. We are not trying to go against Russia as well. While India has not explicitly condemned Russia on the for the invasion in the Ukraine, it has called for an international probe into the Bucha massacre. Okay, so this was an event which has happened in Ukraine, and expressed concern over the nuclear threat issued by the Russian leader. Recently, the president of Russia has said that nuclear warheads, or you can say these weapons, are for the wars. Okay, so weapons are for to be used. Okay, so such threats are kind of concerning on the India's end. Now India has also abstained from voting against Russia when there is a UN resolution, etc. So we are not voting against Russia. So other than that, he has talked to President Putin, and he has said that in 2022 he has said that this era is not era of war. So they should go and find a solution in the dialogue and diplomacy. Okay. So I hope this is clear. This was a new, you can say, a development in Russia-Ukraine war. So you can remember. Hope India joins peace summit. That is what Ukraine has said. So Ukraine wants India to join, because Ukraine knows that India has a sway now. Okay, India has a sway on Russia as well. So there are high chances that they would want India to take an proactive step in this peace process. Okay. Now moving further. For your own read, there is this article which is related to India's protected basmati variants renamed and cultivated in Pakistan. So IARI demands legal action. Okay, so Indian Agricultural Research Institution is demanding action, because obviously when we are talking about the use of seeds without the permission, that is you can say issue of patent, or you can say that is an issue of property rights. Okay, so why it is happening, how it is happening? So obviously we know that we have a border. So for Pakistan to grow such species, all they need is 1 kg of such grains. They can take it, and in one you can say crop cycle, they can come up with nearly 2000 or 2 quintal of this particular seeds. Okay, so they are kind of developing it in Pakistan as well. Okay, from this article I would want you to extract few names that are, let's say this is PB1121. Okay, then we have this Pusa Basmati 1121. Okay, that is basically PB1121. So remember this name, because here we have Pusa Basmati 1847. Okay, PB 1847. So remember that any variety which has PB, that is Pusa Basmati, and since this variety has been in news, so there are high chances they might even ask you, okay, what is PB 1857 or 1847? So they can directly ask you. That is why I want you to remember that. Okay. So other than that, we have this Seed Act 1966, then Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers Right Act 2001. Okay, so these are the acts which are basically dealing with the property right, or you can say rights of the farmers, as well as the regulation of the seeds. Okay, so go through this article. Extract one or two information if you can. Okay, other article for your read is from the today's newspaper, that is explain section, aspect of the inequality in India. Now this article is full of trends. Okay, there are 5 to 6 trends here. You can say growth in the average income, very high net worth individuals, increase in the income tax payers, extreme level of inequality, extreme wealth at the very top, income inequality globally, wealth inequality globally, and likely underestimation of the inequality, and the policy solution. All these things are trends, and I'm telling you, UPSC has this tendency to ask for the question which are based on the trends. Okay, so please go through this particular thing, please go through these graphs and try to correlate, and there are 6 or 7 trends. Just make a note of these 6 to 7 bullet points. Okay, do not copy it all together, just take that what is the trend in average income. Okay, so they are saying that there is a growth in the average income, so just mark that in which particular time period there is a growth of average income. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, now coming to the last part, that is your practice question. Manrega wages are primarily based on national minimum wage rates. Second is CPI AL, market demand for the skilled labor, and government budget allocations. Okay, so these are your options, you have to choose the correct option. Okay, and more than that, I would want you to say that you can select the most appropriate option. Okay, that is what UPSC asked for. Okay, so you can attempt this question, answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you on Monday now. Okay, so take care, have a good day, bye.